First and foremost, let's give it up to Kaylee Cuoco, who just. Am I saying that right? Kaylee Cuoco? Kaylee Cuckoo? Kaylee Cuoco. You know what? I gotta look it up because I can't butcher her name. She did a phenomenal job here. Okay, so I actually went to go see an interview, and it's Kaylee Cuoco. So I think she did a phenomenal job in this series. Now, she is pretty much known to a lot of people as Penny from The Big Bang Theory. I myself never really got into that show, so I don't really recall like much of her from the show because it's just me. I know it's a phenomenal show to many, and I'm probably not getting it right, but I'm digress. She did a great job in The Flight Attendant, and I was very surprised. So I heard about this show from just hearing about it while I was watching The Undoing. Many people were raving about it and saying that it was pretty good, and I was like, well, The Undoing's just finished, and I need a new show to watch. And besides watching A Teacher, which I'm still gonna make a video about that show because I gotta talk about that show. But I was like, okay, let's add this show on there, and my goodness, The Flight Attendant surprised me so much. I thought that it was very well crafted from beginning to end, and just the way that they were able to handle so many tones for this show. And I think I've heard Kaylee and the rest of the people behind the show talk about how many tones were balanced throughout the show, but it all was so cohesive and just felt so natural the way it was done. It really takes a lot to do writing like that, honestly, because there is a lot of drama, there is a lot of comedy, there's a lot of like just so much going on, such heavy subjects being discussed as well. And nothing felt like it was just there as a prop, like it made sense why somebody would be like this, because the way that it's all layered and structured is just how everyday life really is, with many of these situations that may be bleak, dark, and then lighthearted, and then funny, and all of this as well, and then thrilling, is just how it is. It's not just black and white. It was really a great, uh, like gray area they were in, and I thought that they did a phenomenal job. So besides all of that, we came to our finale just this Thursday, and so this show basically dealt with a flight attendant played by Kaylee Cuoco, who was pretty much like, her life was spiraling down, I would say, and she didn't know she was rock bottom, and this is what was happening to her. And so Casey, who is the flight attendant, ends up hooking up with a guy that she was on a flight with, and next thing you know, he winds up dead in the bed, and she wakes up to him dead in Bangkok. So things just go from there, from conspiracies to an insane amount of like, what the hell is going on, and then everything else in between. So by the end of the final episode, we realize that Alex, who was the one that Casey actually slept with and wound up dead in her bed, well, in the hotel bed, actually was part of a bigger conspiracy going on with his family's business and another business where they were talking about smuggling weapons and just a lot of illegal shit. Now, she thought that she was being tailed by the supposed killer in her mind, which was Miranda. Turns out, no, Miranda was just trying to cover everything that was happening besides that and trying to get the money, but she didn't kill Alex, so she's not the one that's trying to kill Casey. Actually, turns out that the one trying to kill Casey is her boyfriend, and he's the one who killed Alex, and that's because Buckley, by the way, what the fuck name is Buckley for real? He is actually the one who killed Alex because his name is actually Felix. Well, his assassin name is Felix. He says his real name's Buckley, so that was kind of hilarious at the end. He actually went to Bangkok to kill Alex. He saw Casey there, and then he ended up taking up this alias that he was going to sort of meet Casey at a bar later down the season and then try to become her boyfriend, but in fact he's working like undercover to cover everything up and pretty much take out Casey. Now, Miranda and Casey end up sort of having this realization that they have to. And I realize I'm saying Casey, it's Cassie. So Miranda and Cassie end up getting together, and they realize, why are we working against each other? Let's figure this all out. Let's take out Buckley and let's just finish all of this. So they end up elaborating this plan to go to Rome, but then Miranda gets caught up in some other stuff and she doesn't end up getting there in time. And so we see Cassie and Buckley end up having a fight, and then what we see is like Miranda's already been taken out, so she has nowhere to go. But then out of the nick of time, her friend Shane shows up and he shoots Buckley. And then we're just like, wait, Shane was a flight attendant. What the hell? How did he show up in the nick of time with a gun and everything? And he's like, you know what? I'm CIA actually, and I've been undercover this whole time. And he was actually undercover trying to figure out some intelligence on Megan, the other flight attendant who was Cassie's friend, why she was actually doing some shady shit on the side as well during the whole show. And she was actually getting information from her husband's company, who actually works in like security and stuff like that, and actually smuggling it to North Korea. So Megan is in a lot of shit, and she actually goes on the run in this final episode as well, so we don't hear more from her either. Now, it ends up Buckley doesn't die. Miranda actually isn't found anymore. And so now Cassie is trying to live a normal life after all of this. Her friend Annie, the lawyer, is actually not a lawyer anymore. And now she's just like, I'm done drinking, which was a very big thing for Cassie because throughout the whole season, we saw her sort of spiraling down, and we saw how this alcoholism started as well, and just the dark path it's taken her, and how she really manipulated in her mind how her childhood really was. But by the end of the season, she actually comes to accept how it was and move on from this. And I thought that that was a very, very good way to wrap up the season. So now, a season 2, is there a possibility that we will get a season 2? Well, this is actually based on a book, and the book actually is just like how it ends in the show. And so they do say that this was a mini series, but I do have some good news, I think, and that comes from the executive producer and developer Steve Yockey, who went on to say, "Here's what I'll say: these 8 episodes of television have a beginning, a middle, and an end that are very clear. Everyone gets to have a complete story. I think that's important. In a season of television, that's important. Obviously, Kaylee and I had conversations. There are little breadcrumbs along the way that could be picked up and rolled right into a second adventure for Cassie or a further adventure for Cassie. That's always out there. The things that we discussed are kind of laced through it, but in a way that no one's going to be like, what are all these unanswered questions? If we do get another adventure with the flight attendant, we'll be able to use them so that the story can feel like it grows out of this story rather than hard cut. Here's a whole new thing." So pretty much that's what I thought with the ending of this series, because I thought that the series in itself was smart the way it played it, because the ending is very like conclusive. Like, you can have this ending and it's fine if we don't get renewed for a second season, or if the first season wasn't that hot and nobody really cared for it, we still told a complete story and we don't feel like we missed out. But let's lay out these little like webs where you can keep on going out there and trying to figure out what's going on. Of course, one of the biggest ones is what's going to happen to Megan. I think that that was a very interesting one there as well, because we're not too sure what exactly is like the whole depth of everything she's doing and what will be the consequences, not just for her, but her family as well. Another thing as well that we ended on is Cassie actually being offered a job with the CIA after Shane tells her that she might be getting a call. And so I thought that that was a very good way to sort of further her story, and maybe we see her more getting into the shady shit that's going on all around her. Also, Annie, I wouldn't be surprised if we see her end up working with the FBI in some sort of way as well. And Miranda is still out there, even though she is like nowhere to be seen in the finale except slipping the book into Cassie's jacket. She's still out there, and she said, "I'll see you soon." So that could possibly mean that there's something still going on that might need some answers, right? So we could be seeing that as well. And one of the other things is that Buckley ain't dead. And if he's an assassin, I'm pretty sure he's going to find a way to get out. And I think that we could definitely be getting some more confrontation there. So all around, round of applause to this cast. I think they did a tremendous job. The writers did such a fantastical job as well. A lot of moments I was kind of like teary as well. So I really, really am excited to see if they would want to follow up this series or not. It is being touted as a miniseries. HBO likes to say, "I think it's over, that's it." But as we've seen with many other shows that they've had, they always come around if the money's there. And I think this is a very popular show. I think it's been trending every time it usually premieres. So I'm hoping we do get a second season. But let me know what you think. Second season, yes or no? And Anyways, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? We talk about all the things you love: TV shows, movies, music, anime, all of that. There's something for everybody here. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you like, comment, share, all that good stuff. On the road to 20,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. And that's going to do it for me. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at NerdRound, TikTok down below. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.